Alright guys, welcome to what is
Hold on.
what is a kind of a dual episode for
Dual?
our
Are we,
I guess we can say organization.
are
This
we,
is our
are we doing a 10 paces and turning and firing duel?
no,
I've got muskets.
maybe later. But
They're a bitch and a half to load.
we are doing this is the sixth
I don't know. I don't count.
I want to say sixth or seventh episode of the regular podcast, but it's also the first episode of what I like to call Freedom Beef Wrestling,
Interesting.
or FBW for short.
FBW.
FBW. You know, because kind of like how wrestling promotions will have
Fucking big wieners.
well.
Sorry.
If you believe Vince McMahon, yes, but but if I'm currently holding a stuffed Appa
from Avatar: The Last
from
Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, it is super comfortable to hold.
Yep.
But like how different wrestling promotions will typically have three names for a 3-letter acronym: WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, or ROH, and then you have the one that's kind of
Does Raw fall under the 3-letter category?
no. I'm talking.
Is
I'm
Raw
just,
an acronym for something?
no. It's just it's
Okay,
they have I'm talking mainly organizations right now.
okay.
So like Raw and SmackDown are just fall under the conglomerate of WWE.
Okay.
And then you have New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That's 4
Obviously
letters.
in Japan, right? They're the outlier of that 3-letter acronym name.
Okay. Well, let's preface all of this with
Okay.
the fact that we're available on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud,
Not well. The first 3 episodes are available on SoundCloud, but yes.
and then
And then Stitcher,
something
Spotify. I'd have to look it up.
A bunch of fucking places. All
yeah,
right.
it's. We have everything listed of where we are on Facebook and Twitter. So you can follow the links that are posted in those posts and find us on the subsequent listening platform.
Of course.
We'd also like to preface this by saying
I know
do
absolutely nothing about this.
that, and do not go in the comments with this wrestling's fake bullshit, because no fucking shit.
It's scripted, but it's not.
Yeah,
fake.
yes, everything is scripted.
Okay.
The moves that they do is scripted. The promos that they do are scripted. Everything but the actual action is scripted.
So
You
the
know,
violence is real.
The violence is real.
but
Everything
you know
else,
it's coming.
yes.
Got
Yep.
it.
Yeah, because in the 90s, Vince McMahon likened it a lot to soap operas.
Gotcha.
Doing
Your own stunts.
doing your own stunts. Yeah.
Got it. So let's get into this by saying me, AJ, your humble and idiotic co-host, knows fucking
This might be the only wrestling one you do with me, but we'll see.
I know absolutely nothing about professional wrestling.
You know a little bit.
I know some people.
You know
formats.
the gist of what pro wrestling is.
Yeah, what I just expressed was the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah. Like The Undertaker and
I know
The Rock.
I know characters within the games.
Right.
I don't know necessarily fucking shit about the rest.
Right.
So this is gonna be medium-sized Mike. Wait, and we call him Big Mike.
Fluffy Mike. And Appa.
Big boned Mike.
Mike and Appa.
Not boned is never mind.
Well,
Basically teaching me some stuff, and you'll learn along with me.
I wouldn't say not, but
Well, I wouldn't know. So
anyway,
I guess we could ask people, but that'd be
anyway,
odd.
yeah. Anywho, What would you like to know? First off, like let's preface that.
Okay.
What okay, well actually no, we'll start with this. There are 4 major promotions.
Okay.
I've listed them already.
Okay.
Top of the list, it has been since probably the first WrestleMania. Has been WWE, and then
Okay.
you have
Was that previously WWF?
yes, they were previously WWF, and then they were sued by the World Wildlife Foundation, and had to change their name to WWE.
That would make sense for my logo quiz game where the WWF is a picture of a little panda.
Yep.
Got it.
But next you have
To be fair, I would pay to watch The Rock wrestle pandas.
yeah, that'd be
I would pay
adorable.
lots of money for
That'd
that.
be adorable.
You'd get all my pay-per-view money.
But you have Impact Wrestling, which is also in America,
Is that
and Ring of Honor.
okay?
That they're all in America. Everything but WWE is considered independent wrestling.
Okay, because it acts independently besides the conglomerate
Yes,
of WWE.
These organizations act independently of the conglomerate that is
It's
World
kinda-
Wrestling Entertainment.
It's kind of like your local baseball team that doesn't have an affiliation. Like they're not a
Right.
AAA team.
Right. Like the Salt Dogs.
Yeah,
for
like
us in Lincoln.
the Lincoln Salt Dogs as compared to the Omaha Royals, which are a sub.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
And then in Japan, which is a whole nother monster for pro wrestling.
An ink monster? Or is that a different side of Japan?
Different side of Japan. You have New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What happened to old Japan Pro Wrestling?
I don't know, but
Was that sumo wrestling, and they were like, we can't keep calling
Yes.
it that?
yes?
Was it
I
really?
think I don't know. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I don't know. I think it's just that
I think I'm right.
it's just the name. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan.
I think old Japan Pro Wrestling was sumo wrestling. That's what I'm gonna say that was a fact.
And you have a huge difference between pro wrestling in the United States and England and the rest of Europe compared to what it is in Japan.
Is the main difference accents?
That and you know how in America and like Europe you'll have chants and the crowd getting into it and all this different stuff that happens,
Like audience interaction?
audience interaction.
Okay.
In Japan you don't have that
Why?
because it's a respect factor, because in Japan it's not frowned upon to be a pro wrestling fan. It's a popular sport in Japan.
Okay, so people can't get involved in the audience, but they're not
Well, no, they think of it more
publicly
as
shamed? Like,
no. They think of it more as like, I guess, a play or something like that.
Oh, okay. So
They
see it as
kind
a
of
production, not
Yes,
as a
yes,
as
as
a
a-
blood sport.
right, but they
boring.
well, they'll get into it if
Do they dress up?
what?
Like when you go to the play or the opera, you're supposed to dress fancy.
No, it's they're regular pro wrestling fans.
Okay.
It's just they only get into it like into chance if the wrestler or entertainer, I guess we should say, is leading it.
Is doing a call and response with the audience.
Right.
So it's like a concert, basically.
Sort of. And then they'll stand.
It's actually interesting.
They'll stand and clap at the end of matches, and but they like in Japan they have a lot more freedom with what they do, what they can do in the ring and what they can do outside, and as far as athletically and the moves that they can do, because in WWE it's all scripted by like Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H,
Gotcha.
who all kind of script matches, and they all kind of oversee what's happening and stuff like that.
So
like,
they have
while Vince McMahon might not be on TV, he's always backstage.
Okay.
He will always be in what they call the gorilla position, which is where like they kind of stand before
Is
they
that
come
the-
out of the
Is that
entranceway.
is that like in SpongeBob where the gorilla comes out? And
No,
brings-
no, it's like they
Is that a new sex position I've never heard of?
no, it's where like the wrestlers stand
Okay, so
to be able to get like
it's like the producer on.
it's like the production area of
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
It's where
so they're like
the production
kind of thing.
Yes,
Okay.
it's where the production like truck will radio into for all this stuff, and it's where like Vince can talk to the announcers and stuff like that, like tell them if they're doing a shitty job or something like that, you know.
Which they're always doing a shitty job.
Yeah, you're telling me, dude. Commentary's been bad since Jim Ross left. Like but in Japan they're just a lot more free to do what they want because the wrestlers.
It's more creative freedom, kind of
more.
thing?
They have more creative freedom in Japan.
But is it still scripted to who's going to win and how?
Yes.
Okay.
But they have complete control over what they do in the match.
Oh, okay.
Until the end. But then because they know who's supposed to win. But then they figure out who. Because they have the finisher move, the finishing moves that you have to do, stuff like that.
You know, your signature move.
Yeah. Like the
Batista bomb,
the pedigree, the rock bottom, sweet chin music. You know, the stuff that's iconic to pro wrestling fans. Like the current heavyweight champion in Japan has a finishing move called the One-Winged Angel.
That sounds horrible.
It's like a. Hold on, let me see if I can't actually find a...
Is it like the people's elbow?
No,
Is it way worse?
Let me see if I can't... Oh, I'm not connected to the internet here, apparently. Okay, we can do that later.
What's it called?
Here, just look up Kenny Omega finishing move.
Kenny Omega?
Yeah.
Omega...
GA.
Finisher.
Yep.
The One-Winged Angel compilation. Hold on, let me get full screen. Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's
what the fuck?
Yeah, he gets up in like a kind of.
Oh my god!
Yeah, dude.
How does he not break somebody's neck doing this?
Because these guys have been doing it for years. He knows how to do it without breaking somebody's neck, and the person he's doing it to knows how to do it.
To take
it without breaking his neck. Because that's
oh my god.
That's 50% of what pro wrestling is
learning how
to take the hit and how to deliver it without injuring the other person.
Jesus.
Obviously, injuries happen every once in a while.
Holy fuck! I'm gonna send this link to you, and you need to post. We'll post this on our.
Yeah, we can link it in the Facebook, not in, or in the YouTube post that'll put up later. But yeah, that's a lot of it. Is just
Jesus fucking hell.
Yeah, they can look really brutal.
Fucking brutal.
Like if we were to if he was to be in this room right now and do it to like one of us, he would have to explain to us exactly like how to tuck our head so that we're not landing like on the back of our head or on the top of our head and compressing our necks.
Right.
And that's a lot of what like power bomb moves are.
Captain Sano.
Yeah, the type of like you have to like tuck your head to prevent breaking your neck. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Has anyone ever died?
Yes.
Oh.
Owen Hart in the 90s was rappelling down from the rafters. The harness he was in snapped. And he fell to the ring. That was on a pay-per-view called In Your House. There's no video of it. You're not going to find it. Called In Your House. It was a pay-per-view. And what video they do have is it's him going, cuts, and then comes back to a bunch of people in the ring surrounding Owen. Like, because everyone freaked out. Like, it was sometimes that just happens. And then, of course, you have, like, the Chris Benoit stuff. You never heard about Chris Benoit?
No.
Chris Benoit was a professional wrestler who, in 2007, I want to say, murdered his wife, his 7-year-old son, and then hung himself in his basement.
Holy fuck.
Nobody knows why he did it. There was no... Well, there wasn't any sign of steroids in his system.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, the WWE has extensive drug testing to prevent stuff like that.
I thought everyone in the WWE was on steroids.
No.
How the fuck do they get so jacked then?
Working out, protein, push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice.
No, but seriously, I've always been under the...
No, I know. Most people are.
I've always thought that they were just fucking juicing the shit out of themselves.
The 80s, they were.
Okay.
But after Vince McMahon was sued...
for tiny balls?
For supplying steroids, reportedly.
So he Alex Rodriguez did.
Yes, yeah. But he was acquitted. But guys like Macho Man Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior were steroid guys. That's how they got so big. Nowadays they have extensive workouts, drug testing to be able to prevent. Like they'll guys have been suspended over the past 2 or 3 years because they've tested positive for like HGH or something.
Because that's what I always thought. Because Brock Lesnar in the UFC,
most people
got
think
caught with steroids,
right.
And so we thought. So me as a UFC person,
right.
thought that he was getting the steroids from WWE.
No, they do. They do. If they use steroids, they don't get them from WWE.
That's fascinating.
But the WWE also isn't part of the USADA or USADA, I guess you could say for short.
The United States Drug Administration.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That they do all the testing for the UFC.
Gotcha.
They are not under the same guidelines as the UFC is because of the entertainment label.
But do they still drug test for steroids?
Yes.
In the WWE?
Yes, but they do it independently.
Okay.
So guys like John Cena, who wears a headband on his bicep.
But how can you see him?
Special glasses. Only pro wrestling fans can see him.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And only in a pro wrestling ring.
Oh,
Otherwise, you can't see him.
I remember when I was in middle school, there was a girl, I don't remember what the hell her name was, that was just obsessed with John Cena. Like,
oh yeah, like in 2006, John Cena was huge. John Cena was everywhere.
She had like the binder, the T-shirts every day, like the snap-on. You remember the snap wristbands? Mm-hmm. Had one of those fuckers. Like, yeah, the dude was. She was like a fucking mega fan.
Yep.
Kind of like I am with Deadpool and SpongeBob.
Yeah, essentially. Just because that's a lot of how they make their money.
Right.
Is merch.
Right.
Because Brock Lesnar was getting, I think, $1 million for doing 4 pay-per-views last year.
Mm-hmm.
He did WrestleMania, SummerSlam. He did the big 4. He did WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. That's it.
Do they still do Hell in a Cell?
Yes. Yep. There's an entire pay-per-view inspired by it.
Huh.
Where the championship matches are all in a giant... For reference, Hell in a Cell is a giant, probably...
Cage?
60-foot steel
cage that gets put over the ring.
Mm-hmm. Completely enclosed.
To also preface my knowledge, I say I know nothing. When I was growing up, I had WrestleMania 18 for the Nintendo GameCube, and that's what I base 100% of my pro wrestling knowledge on.
So you know a lot of the 90s guys. Like the Attitude Era guys, like Triple H, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash,
Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle,
yeah.
Booker T.
Right.
Trish.
Trish Stratus, yep.
Yeah.
Which, that's a whole nother. That could be a whole nother episode of just I guess the nice word would probably be problems that WWE has had in the past of with their female entertainers, because up until maybe 4 years ago, they were hiring like cheerleaders and models to do to be professional wrestlers, like
the sex appeal.
Yeah, Stacy Keibler, who was a WWE
An elf?
diva at the time.
A Keebler elf.
No, she
joke.
was a Baltimore Ravens cheerleader before she was with the WWE.
Did she?
Trish Stratus was a fitness model
Interesting.
before she was with the WWE. Just these different, like, they would hire just for the sex appeal. Well, now they're actually looking at,
Can you fight?
the athletic ability of the females,
That's fascinating.
which makes for, because if you which they still have a couple of those like model type wrestlers around for some reason, unfortunately, because like they'll have them try and do some of the stuff that the other ones are doing, like what they call suicide dives, or just diving through the ropes.
Okay.
And one tried it a couple of weeks ago, literally got hung up by the feet on the ropes because she didn't do it right, and like almost cracked her neck on the apron of the ring.
I think I saw the video of that.
Yeah, it's horrifying to watch,
It's really horrible to watch.
but it's super funny because they made one of the least capable female wrestlers they have do a suicide dive.
Well, you'd think that would be like a basic move kind of a thing, right? That would be like how you would view it as like a
No.
basic level move.
No, because not everyone does it.
Gotcha.
Only the smaller, more athletic guys do it.
Gotcha.
Guys, typically guys that came from the independents, like
Gotcha.
guys from Japan or Mexico, or because Mexico's really big with what are luchadors down there.
Right.
Guys like Rey Mysterio.
He is a mystery.
He is. Any
I'm sorry.
Keep going. I'm just
Anyway.
going to be an absolute shit this whole time.
But you had, we've talked about this on the podcast before. It's just the over sexualization of females.
Right.
That was a lot of what.
Got Vince McMahon in hot water.
Yeah. But again, he prefaced all of it with saying that it's like a soap opera. None of
Right.
it's real. None of it's like he had a storyline with Trish where they had a love interest for like a couple pay-per-views, and then it was done. Where to prove her loyalty to him, she had to strip down to her bra and panties, get down on her hands and knees, and bark like a dog.
So that's not okay.
No, but nowadays that's not okay.
Can we talk about
In 1998
more acceptable? Yeah.
or no, 2000,
Still more acceptable.
still more acceptable.
But not now, obviously.
But she agreed to that. Because it's not real. He's not actually
Yeah.
that much of a pervert.
Yeah, but there's
it's-
a line that was
Right, there's a line
being
that you
blurred.
don't that's being blurred.
Yeah.
Right, but that's where that problem came in, is that you find the line,
Yep.
which is why Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of Vince McMahon,
Right.
is now the head of the female wrestlers, essentially, like of who's being hired and stuff like that, so that they're not having these problems with I guess, discrimination or whatever you could say.
Sexualization.
Sexualization, yeah. Which
Or
they're still
objectifying
they're
or
still in
whatever- whatever it is.
in kind of skimpy clothes and stuff, but that's gonna be natural.
So
in
were the
any-
guys.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Pretty sure Triple H made a career in a Speedo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
A Speedo and knee pads.
Right. It's a Speedo, elbow pads, knee pads, and boots.
He was the, like, 90s stereotypical gay guy's wet dream.
I'm pretty sure it might have been, yeah.
I'm not
I
saying,
mean-
like, at no point am I trying to insinuate that that's that was the stereotype in the 90s, was
Yeah.
dudes, skimpy clothes, big muscles, but, off.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not true now with,
Because Triple H is, and at the time was,
slaying it.
slaying the boss's daughter.
Nice. That's a
Because
win.
Triple H, whose real name is Paul Levesque.
Levesque. I see why he goes by Triple H.
Yeah, his original ring name was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So in the ring and as far as WWE stuff goes, he goes by Hunter.
Okay, well that
To everything else, he's Paul.
well that explained so many things in so little time. Because I had a question, then you answered my question immediately. Because I was like, why the fuck is it called Triple H? Then
Right.
you answered it.
Because, most guys don't use their real names.
You're saying Undertaker's not his real name?
No, of course not.
I am heartbroken. The Big Show's name isn't Big Show.
We've looked that up. Don't even. We've looked that up.
What's Steve Austin's real name?
I think it's actually Steve Austin.
I'm looking it up.
Like John Cena's real name is John Cena.
Is it really?
Yes, but he can use that if he would go to anywhere else.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like The Rock is obviously Dwayne Johnson. We know that now.
His actual name is Steve James Anderson.
Oh, Steve Anderson. Okay.
Stephen James Anderson became Stephen James Williams, and then became his ring name became Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then you have like guys like Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, John Cena.
Dude's been married 4 times.
Yeah. There's other guys that use their real names,
Okay.
but it's not very common. It's most of the time they use ring names. Like Roman Reigns is a ring name right now.
So is Dwayne The Rock Johnson still
His real name is Dwayne Johnson.
okay? So in the ring, he was always The Rock.
Though he was The Rock. Yep.
Why was he called The Rock?
It was just the name they came up with for him.
So
well, his
the biggest-
dad. Well, no, hold on. Actually, I do know his dad was a pro wrestler. He was
The Boulder.
No. The Boulder has conflicted feelings about fighting a small blind girl.
That's an Avatar: The Last Airbender reference for those of you who are like, "What the fuck did that just mean?"
The Boulder is over his conflicted feelings.
That's so fucking.
Fun fact again, I've said this before, but he was voiced by Mick Foley,
Who is a
professional wrestler.
sweet.
One of the craziest professional wrestlers ever.
That's an impressive feat.
Yeah. Well, he's the
Considering-
guy that got thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Cage.
The cage. Yeah, the
Jesus.
cell. Or what they call the cell. Because
Okay.
the cage doesn't have a top on it.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the cell has a top.
Yeah. Okay.
So he got thrown off the top
Where?
onto a table. Onto one of the announcing tables. And then he got back up and climbed back to the top. And then
The fuck are they making tables out of now?
Well, they're specially made tables so that when you land on them, they break.
Oh, okay.
When you're put through them with enough force, they break.
So
So
then,
like if you're power bombed through one, it'll break,
right.
and you won't get like splinters in your back.
But is it still wood?
I think so. Like, but it's a softer wood
Got
that
it.
doesn't splinter as much as normal wood.
Yeah.
Like if somebody gets put through a window, it's sugar glass.
Right.
So
it's
that
not-
you're not
It's not
cutting
like,
your veins.
it's not like an ash baseball bat that just fucking splinters like a motherfucker.
Right.
Got it.
Um,
They probably use like a pine or something that
Yeah.
breaks pretty easy.
yeah, but typically they don't like break the bat over somebody.
Oh, I was talking like a baseball bat, like in baseball.
Well, yeah, yeah.
They use ash for the
Yeah.
baseball bats, like a Louisville Sluggers ash.
Yeah. Well, like they
I swear to fuck if someone's just like,
Bill
no,
Gr-
it's not. It's made out of mahogany. I'm gonna fucking murder you. Actually,
Bill Goldberg
To be fair,
in WCW put his fist through a car window. He was so mad.
Was it a real car?
Yes.
Was it a real window?
It was a real window.
Did he bleed a lot?
Yes.
Was it real blood?
He was out for 6 months because of it.
Jesus.
Because he cut his vein.
Oh fuck.
This way.
Yeah, that's because that's the like
Like he was
that's the heavy bleeding way.
because in WCW guys like Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash had
Yeah.
complete creative control. So they could do whatever the hell they wanted.
To be fair, Louisville Sluggers are made out of pine. I know that. Just fuck off.
Yeah. And then so he
own a
the
Louisville
storyline
Slugger.
was that he was supposed to put his fist through a car window. But
Did he punch the wrong car?
he punched the wrong window.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
That's so much worse.
He was supposed to do, I think it was one of the passenger side windows, but he punched through the driver's side. And Bill Goldberg is not a small man.
No, that dude's
This is a guy
jacked
that was
motherfucker.
a NFL defensive lineman before he was a...
The dude was.
Yeah, the dude's a monster.
He's also. Is he in the longest yard?
Yes. He's battle.
Yeah, he's
In the
battle.
longest yard.
Yeah. Hit him over the head with that hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy.
Got it.
And is it... Where was I going? What were we talking about?
Wrestling.
Obviously.
Well, I don't.
We were talking about like
The breakable tables and the
Yeah,
Hell in a
yeah,
Cell. The dude getting thrown off the table
Yeah.
onto the announcer's table. Yep, got it.
yep and wrestlers using their real names.
Yeah.
The Rock's dad
Yeah.
went by Soul Man Rocky Johnson.
Oh, okay.
His grandfather was High Chief Peter Maivia, who went by his real name and was an actual High Chief of Samoa.
Wow, that's
Like his
fascinating.
ring gear was his High Chief gear.
Isn't that kind of sacrilegious or
No.
offensive to whatever?
No,
Oh.
because he was Samoan. It was part of
Fair
his own culture.
Fair enough.
Like
That explains Rock's awesome tattoo he has got.
Mhm. Yep.
It's a Samoan
like
tattoo.
a guy like Roman Reigns has an entire sleeve,
of,
like from
of
his
sleigh bells because his
No,
name was
of-
Reigns.
of Samoan tribal. I know what you're getting at. Shut up. It's from his.
Sleigh bells ring by the fire.
He has it from his right pectoral,
Nipple.
essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
All the way down his right arm.
That's dope.
It is pretty dope.
That sounds dope.
And guys like these are all guys that are in the same family. Like they're all related.
Roman Reigns and The Rock are related.
Yes, they're cousins.
Interesting.
They're all part of well, I guess people say in WWE there are two famous wrestling families.
The McMahons.
The McMahons
Uh-huh.
and the Anawa'is.
The what?
Ana
Okay.
Wa E.
The Anawai.
Yes.
Got it.
They're a Polynesian Samoan based family.
Fascinating.
Roman Reigns, The Rock, Peter Maivia, Yokozuna, Rikishi. You know Rikishi.
Do I?
The guy, the big, like sumo looking guy that wore the thong and that stuck his butt in people's faces.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. His son
Was that real?
Yeah.
Did
he was actually sticking his butt in people's face. How do you fake that?
That's an excellent counterpoint.
Like, people would put their, like, hands up there. Because, like, that's how they do chair shots.
But also, you smelling that stank ass.
Right.
You couldn't pay me enough
You're
money.
smelling that swamp ass.
You could not pay me enough money to fucking take that shit.
No. But
No.
that's just, you know, they're all part of the same family.
Nice.
Rikishi's sons, who are in the WWE right now, they're all the same family.
Interesting.
Yep.
Are The Undertaker and Kane actually related?
No.
Wasn't that
Nope, that's storyline. That's
Okay.
all storyline.
Okay. Because I remember that there was a storyline.
No,
that
because
they were related. That
The
their
Undertaker's
brothers or
real
something.
name is Mark Calloway.
That's a really dumb name. Not to be like, not saying
Right.
it's like a dumb name. I'm just
Right.
saying it sounds too basic.
Right. The Kane's real name is Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
So.
I see why it goes by Kane.
Right.
Glenn's not very intimidating.
No. No. Not
Come
at
here, Glenn.
all. Glenn with the choke slam.
Glenn just grabbed Robert right by the nipple. What? Sounds like a trailer
There's-
park fucking dirt
There's
fight.
actually a guy in the Independence who, like, has you feign him grabbing his nuts,
Mm-hmm.
and he acts like his dick has superpowers. So like he's doing like a submission move with his penis. I'm gonna see if I can't find it.
So he's like force choking you with his cock? Or is that not what that is? Because it sounds like what it is. So you grab his balls.
You don't actually grab his balls. His name's Joey Ryan.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Um,
Please, God, show me this video.
it's gonna be.
Okay.
Let me. Oh yeah, he marked the Undertaker because the Undertaker will have like druids come out with torches and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
He had people in penis suits,
Dear fucking God.
like full body, full body dick suits.
I bet those dudes were paid good money, though. Okay.
Joey Ryan.
He looks like an 80s porn star.
He looks like Freddie Mercury.
Okay. That guy is panting, and that dude is rubbing everywhere on his body with what I would guess is lubrication.
It's I'm guessing it's like baby oil or something like that.
I don't like the fact it's called All In. Okay, he's now pouring it down the front of his Speedo. What the fuck is happening?
Here it comes, I think.
Okay. There's a man's hand on a man's junk. His hand is now stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
As though it were... And he just flipped himself while grabbing another man's balls. What the actual fuck did I just witness? He just pulled a cigarette out of his ball sack, put it in a dude's mouth, and kicked him in the face.
Yeah, it's ridiculous stuff that goes on in the independent stuff.
That's a whole nother level of fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. Joey Ryan's just a weird dude.
I couldn't tell.
Like he's got the Freddie Mercury mustache and like that's his gimmick.
Looks like
his gimmick is like 80s porn star, like Ron
it.
Jeremy type stuff.
Got it. He looks like he's not allowed within 200 feet of any school.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looks like Napoleon Dynamite's brother if Napoleon Dynamite's brother got really fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yep.
I'm done bashing on this person's life.
I don't know.
I got one more. He looks like the guy that Michael Jackson would be breakdance battling in the middle of a music video, and then at the end of the music video ends up making out with another dude on a pool table.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to end,
That's an interesting take.
I had to end it somehow, and
Yeah,
made the most
pro
sense.
wrestling is an interesting, very niche. I don't want to say sport, but sport, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it a sport. I don't know if
Well,
it's I get the physicality of it. So
I'm just,
it makes it.
I just don't know a better word to use at this
that's
right
fair.
right this second.
That's fair.
It would take me a little while to think of a better word.
I don't know. I don't know what I would call it either.
Yeah,
I don't classify NASCAR as a sport, but
Right.
some people do. The World Series of Poker's on ESPN, so who the fuck
right.
knows
Well,
what's a
everyone
sport
has
anymore?
their different definition of what a sport is.
Yeah, some people think bowling's a sport.
Right. Actually, if you go by the dictionary definition of a sport, everything's a sport, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's any like extended period of athletic.
So fucking's a sport. Depends on how long you can extend that period of activity.
Right.
Well, you also got to think some are short bursts. Like,
Right.
you know, like Greco-Roman wrestling is
Mhm.
3-minute periods. So, you know, you're totaling 9 minutes of actual athletic,
Yeah, but all in like subsequent fashion.
Right.
It's like there's no real breaks.
Exactly. There's no timeouts.
Right.
It's manly.
Mhm.
Well, gymnastics, you think, not pole vault, Jesus fuck. The vault routine is, 8 seconds. You run down, you vault, flip, land, game over. Okay.
Right.
Everyone claps. Done.
Right.
So that's not
Break your leg if you do it wrong.
break your ankle if you do it wrong. Gymnasts, in my opinion, are the most badass people on the planet. Like, those people, Jesus, you have no fucks given about you.
A close second are Olympic wrestlers,
Yeah, both of those have reckless abandonment for their bodies.
which Kurt Angle, a WWE wrestler,
Former Olympian.
an
Wrestler.
Olympic gold medalist in 1996 in wrestling.
Yep, in real wrestling.
In real wrestling, yeah. Who won a gold medal with a broken neck.
I've heard about this.
Yes.
And there's a lot of former wrestlers that are WWE people, if I'm not mistaken.
Brock Lesnar is a former
National champion at Minnesota.
champion at Minnesota.
I knew that from UFC.
There's Ronda Rousey
Yep.
is
She's
an Olympic judo.
Judo. Yeah.
Olympic judo. There's other guys. I'm not all of them are in the WWE, but
Right.
there's other guys that
I'm sure they have wrestling experience.
that have wrestling backgrounds. Yeah.
Martial arts background, stuff
Yeah.
like that. No, yeah, I feel you.
Or mixed martial arts, pro wrestling. Why do I keep saying pro wrestling? Because we're doing a pro wrestling podcast at this point. But
Gotcha.
all
right.
No, I want to save that for. I was gonna say we could talk about something, but I want to save that for a specific episode to talk about.
Okay, I have questions.
Okay.
How do they determine weight classes?
They don't.
I thought they had weight classes.
The only weight classes they have are cruiserweight, and that's 205.
I thought everything was heavyweight.
Everything but cruiserweight is heavyweight.
Okay.
And then obviously the women's division.
How many belts exist? And how do you win a
Just
belt?
in WWE?
Yes. If there's a lot, just say a lot.
There's at least 8.
Jesus.
9, I should say.
How do you win a belt?
That's part of the scripted part.
Gotcha.
Is they plan out who gets title shots and stuff like that.
Okay.
You get a title shot at a pay-per-view.
Is it like the Futurama episode where it's based on your popularity?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
Popularity and how hard you work.
Cool. Next question. Do they still do table, ladder, chair matches?
Not very often, but yes.
Cool. I had another one. Do the wrestlers get to pick their own outfits and names and like kind of backstory stuff? I guess.
There's not a whole lot of backstory stuff anymore.
Okay.
They have Triple H has told this story on interviews where when he was in WWE, he sent in a list of different names that he thought of to WWE, and WWE picked the best one.
The one that they liked.
The one that they liked the best.
Oh, okay.
And then he went with a character depending on that name.
Oh. Okay.
So he picked his own gear depending on, like, Hunter Hearst Helmsley was originally like an English aristocrat.
Okay.
So he dressed all like formal England, like you would think in like you would see in like a Revolutionary War movie.
Yeah, like a Pirates of the Caribbean style.
Yeah,
okay.
like at least the clothes. He didn't
Like
wear
a
like
proper-
a powdered wig or
Like
anything
a
like
proper Brit.
Right.
Gotcha.
That was the original Hunter Hearst Helmsley character.
Okay, well, Triple H being a biker is odd. Is he biker themed?
No.
I feel like it's
The
biker.
Undertaker at one time was biker themed.
I thought the Undertaker was more like an undead
Yes.
badass.
Yes.
Okay.
Undead badass, biker, undead badass.
Gotcha.
The undead biker is one of my favorite ones, but is actually kind of unpopular among wrestling fans.
So you're kind of the
I'm one of the outliers on that
Interesting.
because the biker one was more of who Mark Calloway, more of the actual person instead of the undead, spooky, scary skeletons stuff.
right. I remember in the WWE game I had, the WrestleMania 18 game.
He would have been a biker.
Yeah, yep. He would have.
Yep. He would have.
I remember somebody came out on a bike, and
Yep.
that would
have been the Undertaker.
Okay. I'm assuming Royal Rumble's still a thing.
Yes.
Why do they call it Raw?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was a catchy name because at the time they were having like ratings wars
Okay.
with WCW because WCW Monday Nitro was on at the same time as Raw was.
Okay.
So they went with the slogan for Raw of Raw is War.
Oh.
They just flipped it and just as that became known as the Monday Night Wars.
Interesting.
And then WCW fucked itself because it told fans that Mick Foley was gonna win the WWF Championship on TV because at the time WWF was pre-recorded
Oh.
and Monday Nitro was live.
I gotcha.
Everyone turned to WWF Monday Night Raw to see Mick Foley, who at the time was playing one of his characters, Mankind, win the WWF Championship.
Okay.
Then they lost that rating battle for that subsequent Monday. Never won again.
Because is Raw live now?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a live 3 hours.
Jesus. 3 fucking hours?
Well, they have a lot of like promos and stuff
and
like
fluff and
fluff and
Got it.
all this stuff. Yeah, a few years ago, Machine Gun Kelly, the rapper,
I know who
performed-
Machine Gun Kelly is.
I'm saying it from the people's,
Okay.
performed at Monday Night Raw.
Nice.
He took a bump, or he took a move, where one of the heel characters or the bad guys came out, they kind of had like a John back and forth, and he power bombed him off the stage.
Oh.
Into a table. Just to create, because they were in Cleveland.
Oh, and MGK's
to get
Clevelander.
Yep, to get more heat on,
The bad guys.
Yeah.
The quote-unquote bad guys.
or in this case, it was the character of Kevin Owens.
Okay.
To get more heat on him, they had him powerbomb the rapper from Cleveland.
Makes sense to me.
And that's a lot of it. That's a lot of promos. Is like the bad guys, talking shit on the town they're in, and just each town they try and get as much heat on themselves as possible.
Did you go to the one in Nebraska?
I went to one that was in Nebraska when we were in high school.
Oh, okay.
Our freshman year of high school when they had it at Pershing.
I thought they had one. Did they have one
They've
recently?
had one recently, yes, but I didn't go to it.
Okay. Who is your favorite wrestler and why? Right now. And of all time. Give me one.
Of all time, it's The Undertaker.
Okay, why?
Just because he's cool. Like I don't have really any. Just because it was one of those childhood things. Just that's cool.
Right.
Kind of things, you know. But
who's
currently
your favorite right now?
I don't know if I have a current favorite right now. Just because I'm to be honest, I'm kind of on and off with that kind of stuff.
How often do you watch?
Every once in a while.
Okay.
Most of the time, with us recording on Mondays, it's kind of hard to watch Monday Night Raw.
Fair.
I guess if I had to pick somebody, it would be the character AJ Styles.
Okay.
So
good name. It's my name, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm.
Love it.
Mm. His name, of course, is not actually AJ Styles.
You're right.
That's not his real name. There's a funny story about him. They wanted him. He was originally a huge star in Japan and these other independent wrestling promotions. They wanted him to change his name when he came.
Why?
Just I don't know, because it's WWE. But they wanted him to, but he couldn't because he has a giant tattoo of AJ on his side with his kids' birth dates on him underneath.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I think he has 3 sons and a daughter. So he has like 4 dates underneath the AJ.
Are all their initials AJ as well?
No.
That would have been really funny. Because you know some people do like all the boys in one family's first name starts with like J, and all the girls' name starts with like L or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. But no, I don't think that's the case.
Oh, okay.
I don't know his kids' names because I'm not fucking creepy.
Fair.
But you know, and then of course there's the factions in WWE or in pro wrestling, I guess I should say, where wrestlers will team up, like
The
the NWO, DX,
What was that?
The Shield,
What was the thing Triple H was in?
DX.
Oh.
He was in DX and Evolution.
Wasn't there one that was like Chris Jericho? Fuck, I can't remember anyone else's name.
No.
Okay.
No.
They were like bright green
No, he's never been really part of a
coalition.
of a faction or whatever you want to call it.
I don't
Yeah,
know shit about wrestling.
yeah,
This has been extremely informative, I will say that.
yeah.
But here's actually a crazy thing that means that we were meant to be really good friends. Is the fact that your favorite of all time was The Undertaker. My favorite when I was playing as a kid was Kane.
Nice,
We were meant to be besties.
nice.
Crazy. It was always Kane, Kevin Nash, or Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Those were the go-tos. And then if you felt like being a dick, you'd be Kurt Angle.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the dude would just pick everyone up and throw them everywhere.
Mhm.
So do they still do the thing with like the Royal Rumbles where you have to like kick them out of the ring?
Yeah, you have to throw him over the top rope.
You have to go over the top rope?
Yes, you have to go over the top rope in some way.
Oh.
Like you can,
I thought-
you can be thrown over the top rope, stay on the apron, and be kicked off the apron, and that will count because you went over the rope, the top rope, in some way.
Because in the video game, I remember you were like dangling onto the ropes and you had to like kick them out.
Oh yeah.
And then you had to like
Yes,
button
yeah.
mash to come back into the ring.
Yeah, the animations in those old video games were awful for the Royal Rumble.
They were magic. Don't you fuck off.
And then Survivor Series has like each one has their different like gimmicks.
Right.
Survivor Series has a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match that pits the teams from Raw and teams from SmackDown against each other for brand supremacy, with air quotes, what they like to call brand supremacy.
So, do you think with how the nation kind of thinks that pro wrestling fans are a select group of stereotype?
Mm-hmm. Which sometimes they are. Most of the time, the stereotype for pro wrestling fans is that it's still real to me.
Yep.
Guy.
Well, here's the thing: is like you had Trump on there,
right?
So like everyone who
that was way before he was even
right,
considering being president.
Yeah.
That was still businessman Donald Trump.
But now people are like, oh, Trump supporters are pro wrestling fan stereotype.
Yeah,
it's the stereotype. I'm not saying that pro wrestling fans are Trump supporters because
not all of them are.
Exactly. Not everyone who, I don't know. I can't think of an example. All right.
Yeah, no, I get what you're trying to get at.
People that are Texas Rangers fans are not all, George W. Bush fans because
he owned the Rangers. He was a partial owner of the Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. So this has been enlightening, but at the same time, I fucking hate you because I learned, and I don't like learning. Learning
because you've
hard.
graduated from college at this point, and you don't want to learn anything.
Learning is hard. Fine. Next time, I'm taking over for an episode, and I'm gonna teach you something.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck it'll be about, but I'll think of something. It'll be about, I don't know, I'll teach you about a book. I'll read you a book for an hour.
Oh God.
Read you Curious George's
story time with AJ.
Curious George's ABCs 76 times in a row.
Is that a random number, or have you actually done the math to see how many times you'd have to read that book?
I don't know.
Do it in an
it's
hour?
literally about 5 pages. So, yeah.
It depends on how fast you read.
It's a tiny ass book, man. Thing's about the size of my wallet. It's fucking pathetically tiny. Actually, I can show you its exact size right now.
I don't really care, but okay. Again, I don't care, but okay.
Literally, that's the size of the book.
Oh, that's not 5 pages. There's a page for every letter.
No, there's not.
A is an alligator with its mouth wide open.
Well, you know what? You can.
Of course, Z is a zebra.
My favorite.
A yak. An X-ray. A walrus. A valentine. A useful umbrella. A table set with tea for 2.
It's a fucking tongue twister.
Slow sliding snail.
Hold on, let me find my favorite one. There's one that's really fucking stupid. M is Mr. Miller the mailman. There's a couple ones that are just really fucking
icicle.
stupid. Oh yeah,
House on a hill.
A
fireman fighting a fire.
You literally skipped over. G is a goose in a garden with grasshoppers. What the fuck? And then E is an elephant eating eggplants. Like this.
I'm pretty sure elephants don't actually eat eggplants.
I'm pretty sure they don't. Well, now you learned your ABCs.
Yeah.
Next time, won't you tune in to Freedom Beef Podcast? And as always, Mike.
I think I said it last time, so you said it.
Well, fine. Fuck you. Don't be a bitch.